So this is the ceiling vent right directly above my bed, and I noticed this morning a ton of ants. I've sprayed them with my Pet Safe Ant and Roach. I noticed them around the window, on the window. Kind of oversprayed, but I was pissed off. And then more up there. Of course, it got all over the spray, and some of the dead ant bodies got all over my top sheet. And you can, they still have some in the light fixture. Live and dead. I get them all over me while I'm sitting in my chair. I think all these died. Most of them died. They also took their little baby larvae that had been up in this one and moved out. All the ones that are up there are dead, but I still find them on the ceiling in various places and on the floor. And I find them on my kitchen counter, especially when I have dirty dishes. Although they've been rinsed off, you wouldn't think they'd attract any ants. Oh, yeah. And all this stuff, that's fly poop all over everything, because my back does not like me constantly getting up and sitting down and getting up and sitting down, letting everybody in and out. So when the weather is nice, I just leave the door open so the cats and the dogs can come and go as they please. Hi, Mulder. That's termite damage, termite damage, termite damage. And I believe I also have those in the house. Are you waking up do you want some dinner, pretty girl? She's in her doghouse. Did you eat your breakfast? Nope. Still right there. He did clean off the cooking thing that the pot pie came in, though. Oh, just that much standing and moving around. My lower back is trashed. That's why I'm fighting to catch my breath, because the more pain I get into, the more I hold my breath. I'd force myself to keep going if I keep going, but there's no room in this camper for me to use my walker all the time. I can't even really get it down the hallway. Oh, look! What a surprise! An ant! I really want out of this freaking camper. I don't have air conditioning unless I install a window unit, which had been in this big window here behind me, but it's a real pain in the butt. It's an emergency escape. It's a huge window. And just all the cold air just goes right out around it. I wanted out of here preferably before the heat came, and I didn't want to move in the heat because of having to maybe put my critters, some of the cats and the rabbits, in carriers and keep them here in the camper while we're moving, because there's not going to be enough room for the dogs and my walker and I and the cats and the rabbits in my truck. But I'm beginning to wonder, I don't know how much damage the ants and the termites have done to this camper. I don't know that it would make a long trip or a trip at all. But I can't sell it for enough to be able to rent a U-Haul truck and tow my truck. But then what would I do with my animals? And I don't know if their biggest just tow trailer can hold all my stuff. And again, what would I do with my animals? And I can't afford to hire a pet moving service to move my animals. Every once in a while I think about trying to get a loan to buy a newer 4-season camper, but I don't think they come cheap enough, and they definitely don't come in the floor plan that I need, and I'd have to make a whole bunch of modifications and changes once I got it, because I don't want carpeting, and I don't want the restaurant style booth that campers come with. And if I've still got the rabbits, I can't have the sofa. I that's what takes up most of the slide out is the bunnies. I'd like to rehome the bunnies, but I'm not taking them to a kill shelter. I don't know that they'd even take them. And nobody wants them. Somebody's having a hairball. Maybe he's on top of my laundry. And that's laundry too. That's not trash. I just ran out of laundry basket room. You don't want your dinner, huh? It's actually your breakfast from this morning. Some days he just chooses not to eat. But anyway, even if I do get a camper loan, I won't be able to afford to pay a loan on a camper and lot rent, and still have money to pay electric and propane and food and fuel and the places that are for rent. They want a house that would probably cost like a one or two bedroom, one bath little house that might run, $50,000-$60,000 to buy. They want, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 for rent. And the mortgage payment on that, including insurance and taxes, would be maybe like $200, $250, $300. And I wouldn't be able to have my animals. So I guess I'm stuck in this camper till further notice, if not forever. I've been looking for a place to move to, a cheap house to buy to move into since late December, early January. Because as soon as they told me that I won my disability, even before I had the lump sum payout, I started looking because I knew about what my budget would be. And I kept finding places that were perfect in the beginning. Found a bunch of places that would have been perfect in terms of the location where the cats could be out, and the price, and the work that might need to be done, and so forth and so on. And all the property management investor companies that have cash on hand and don't worry about silly things like inspections because they've got all the money in the world to fix up the places if they find surprises when they're, tearing out all the good stuff out of the old homes that give it any kind of character and charm, they've got money to cover that. Well, I don't. But until I got my, lump sum thing, which I didn't get until what, March, I think. I didn't even have the money to pay for an inspection, so I just had to, cross my fingers and hope. But no, people just kept swooping in and buying everything out. And now I'm finding stuff in big cities, and I'm gonna have to come. If I want semi-happy cats, I'm gonna have to come up with money to build some kind of cat enclosure that they can get to through, from a open window in the house, but so that they can't run loose, because I wouldn't want my cats running loose in the streets of Pittsburgh or St. Louis or, anywhere else like that. And other places, wouldn't, they wouldn't, as soon as they found out how many critters I had, they'd like confiscate them or force me to either give some up or move. And that's part of the whole point. Is I don't consider it to be a problem, but I'm not giving up my critters. So moving in down home, not that it's my home, but where my mom and my sister are, because I've never even seen or been to their house they live in. They've got 3 female dogs and a female cat, and this little booger hates all dogs except for Pretty Girl. And Pretty Girl doesn't like female dogs. She kept trying to kill one that I had that was older than her. Literally kill. Actually, she kept trying to kill both the other female dogs as soon as she hit puberty. And, I can guarantee you that my cats won't get along with their cats. Plus, I've got too many animals for their city limit rules, and we've got no place to keep my cats where they can be inside and outside. Yeah, I don't have to give up most of my stuff, plus my animals. It's like, well, you can, choose one cat. Well, how the hell do I choose a cat? How do I pick from out of the 8 that I have which one I'm going to keep and which I'm going to surrender over to, the only shelter around, which is a kill shelter. Especially knowing that they're considered unadoptable because they don't like, they're afraid of people other than me. They don't like people other than me. So they'd be, they can't make it as a barn cat. They occasionally, I think some of them catch something, but they've never eaten it. They just play with it until it's no more fun, and then they walk away from it. And, a lot of people, when they have barn cats, they don't actually feed them. They just trust that the cat will find something to eat on its own. Well, mine won't. I don't know what the hell to do. This whole situation is totally making my depression worse, my anxiety worse, panic attacks worse, my nightmares worse, my overall stress worse, my health worse. It's made my OCD worse. I don't know. Pretty much every decision I've made since shortly before moving to Missouri, I've come to regret. And some of them were just outright mistakes, bad ideas. And so now I don't even, I don't trust any big decision that I make. I don't trust them at all. How come you're tearing up your box? PeeWee? Huh? How about you just lay in your box instead of tearing it up? That's MeiMei's box too. She may not want you to tear it up. PeeWee. Oh, gotta tear up the chair. Some more. Ow! You've got a claw in my leg. Ma'am. Hi. Yeah, show everybody your silly ears. Mm-hmm. The cartilage. She tore up the cartilage and it hardened into that curly mess. The only way to access her ear, the inside of her ear now, is if we cut that ear off, which we're not gonna